Imagine this. The sky turns black in the middle of the day. The wind roars like 1,000 lions. A prophet, drenched in rain, suddenly tucks his robe into his belt. And before anyone can blink, he's sprinting down the muddy road, past galloping horses, past the king's royal chariot. By the time the wheels thunder into the city gates, he's already there, standing, waiting. This is not fiction. It's the day a man outran a chariot, and it's recorded in the Bible. But who was he? Why did he do it? And what happened before and after that breathtaking run? Let's find out. Our story takes place during one of Israel's darkest spiritual times. The king on the throne, Ahab, a man who had married Jezebel and led the people into deep idolatry. The prophet, Elijah, the fiery man of God who feared nothing and no one. For 3.5 years there had been no rain. The land was cracked and thirsty, crops had failed, animals had died, and the people were desperate. God had withheld the rain as a judgment on the nation's rebellion. But that drought was about to end, and it would end in the most dramatic way possible. Scene 2, the Mount Carmel showdown. Before the run came the famous showdown on Mount Carmel. Elijah challenged 450 prophets of Baal and 400 prophets of Asherah to a public contest. Let's see whose God will answer by fire. The prophets of Baal danced, shouted, and cut themselves from morning till afternoon, but their altar remained cold. Then Elijah prayed a short, humble prayer, and fire fell from heaven, consuming the sacrifice, the wood, the stones, and even the water in the trench. The people fell on their faces shouting, "The Lord! He is God, the Lord! He is God!" It was after this victory that Elijah told King Ahab, "Go, eat and drink, for there is the sound of a heavy rain." Scene 3, the prayer before the storm. While Ahab ate, Elijah climbed back to the top of Mount Carmel, not to rest, but to pray. 7 times he sent his servant to look toward the sea. Each time the answer came, nothing there. Until the 7th time, look, a cloud as small as a man's hand is rising from the sea. Elijah knew the storm was coming. He sent word to Ahab, "Hitch up your chariot and go down before the rain stops you." Scene 4, the run begins. Then the Bible says something almost unbelievable. The power of the Lord came upon Elijah, and tucking his cloak into his belt, he ran ahead of Ahab all the way to Jezreel. 1 Kings 18:46. Picture it. The wind picks up. The first fat drops of rain hit the dusty ground. Lightning flashed. Ahab's horses galloped through the storm toward Jezreel, a city nearly 17 miles away. But Elijah, a man who had spent 3 years in hiding, living on bread and water, is suddenly running with supernatural strength. His feet splash through puddles, his robes whip in the wind, and his pace is faster than the thundering chariot wheels beside him. He's not running for sport. He's not running to prove a point. He's running on a mission, to be in Jezreel before the king, to prepare the people, and to stand as God's visible witness when the rain of mercy returned to the land. Scene 5, the arrival and aftermath. By the time Ahab's chariot rolls into Jezreel, Elijah is already there. No gasping for breath, no collapsing on the ground. He is standing, ready to confront the spiritual battle that still lay ahead. You see, the physical run was over, but the real fight was about to begin. Because in Jezreel, Jezebel was waiting, and she was furious. The man who had outrun the king's chariot would soon be running for his life. Scene 6, other supernatural speeds in the Bible. This wasn't the only time God gave someone supernatural speed or strength. In 2 Samuel 18, a runner named Ahimaaz outran a Cushite messenger to bring news to King David. In Acts 8, the Spirit of the Lord carried Philip instantly from the road in Gaza to the city of Azotus, after baptizing the Ethiopian eunuch. And in John 20, Peter and John raced to the empty tomb. John outran Peter to get there first. God can empower ordinary people to do extraordinary things, whether that's running faster than a horse, speaking words of wisdom beyond their education, or enduring trials far beyond human strength. Elijah's run was more than a display of physical speed. It was a picture of what happens when the hand of the Lord comes upon a person. It's not about human ability, it's about divine empowerment. You may never outrun a chariot, but when God's Spirit moves through you, you can accomplish what seems humanly impossible. So the next time you face something that feels far beyond your ability, remember Elijah, remember the rain, remember the run, and trust the God who gives strength to the weary and power to the faint.